Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is time for your Smack Attack. That's right, I said your Smack Attack because this is by the people for the people. We already have our chatters in the room. We have Lab Rat and Canada Spaceman, two of our regulars, always there, ready to go. And ladies and gentlemen, joining me probably for the rest of time, the Thunder from Down Under, the man with the plan, DJ Mass Effects, Jimmy T. Jimmy T, how are you, sir?
I am good, man. Just a little panicked as I was just telling you off the air. But other than that, I'm great. I'm pumped. And I'm ready for the smack attack, man.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, here's the dealio. All right, so if I'm 100% honest, we were going to do this at 10 my time. I got here like 9:30, 9:45 in that time frame because I'm going to be early. I'm going to set everything up. And I walk, and I haven't been in my building for my office for 5 days. And it's an 85-year-old house, right?
Right.
And of course, it's been icy and whatever here. And so I walk in, and the trash is everywhere. Like, everywhere. So there's an animal in this building. I walked around this building with a stick, seeing if I open doors, see if I can shoot it. Nothing. Nothing. It looks like as if nothing's here, but trash is everywhere. I've closed all the doors. Like, all the doors to the building were, like, to the offices and everything were closed. So I'm like, okay, it's in the main building somewhere, in the main living room, kitchen area. What the hell is going on? And I'm like searching and looking, and I got to clean up. And then I look, and it's like 10:05. I'm like, oh fuck me! And I haven't texted you or anybody else. I haven't set up the show. Oh, for fuck's sake! So yeah, it's been a morning already. I got up, I worked out, and I grabbed some stuff. I got some drink. I'm like, I'm ready to go. Let's go. And then that happened, and it's just like, oh damn it! So. Yeah, it was already a morning, and last night was last night. So, which we'll talk about that. But Jimmy, I think what I'd like to do to make it a change of pace is I don't want to review the matches or whatever. I'd like to
That's cool.
we could just do maybe some highlights. Yeah, I do carry a big stick, according to what the ladies say. Canada Spaceman. Yeah.
Shout out to Canada Spaceman.
Yeah, he comes with the good ones. But, I think what I'd like to do is just really talk the highlights of the show, but then really talk more the wrestling atmosphere, especially because it's sign pointing season time. And we could see, we're starting to see the flesh outs of the stories that are being told as we get to WrestleMania. Now, mind you, I don't see Raw. I don't watch Raw. It's not a thing at all. And I think, Jimmy, you do. So
I do, unfortunately.
maybe you could help me fill in blanks, okay, so if I'm like, I don't understand, I don't see what would happen here, you can help me go, oh, well, they did this on Raw. Oh, it makes sense. So, and just talk about maybe more production, more things that we saw on the show. Like, the first thing I want to bring up before we even get into this is, we had Pat McAfee at Royal Rumble, but yet he wasn't back tonight, right. And so it made me tilt my head a little bit, like, that puppy dog when you say it and they're like, huh? And so, I guess, really that's the first question, honestly, that we're like, okay, like, not that, don't get me wrong, Wade Barrett's not bad.
No, he's good.
He's fine. I'd rather have him than Corey Graves. I think everybody agrees that Corey Graves is not great. But after seeing Michael Cole and Pat McAfee and all the stories, everything that I've read, they knew nothing. He landed 20 minutes before the show, got there and showed up, and nobody said a thing to Michael Cole and to Corey Graves. And so everything there was genuine surprise, like legit. And literally, Michael Cole looked like he was settling in for a night with Corey Graves. Pat McAfee shows up, and it was like, yes! Yeah, and then from there, his game was changed. He was into the whole thing. And then you have last night, and there's no Pat, and it's Barrett, and Michael was fine. Like, he was fine, but there was not that same level of engagement, right, that I felt. But I mean, maybe that's what I felt. That's what I saw. Jimmy, am I viewing things the wrong way? What do you think?
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, I was quite surprised to see Barrett instead of McAfee on SmackDown also. Because the thing is, I don't know if you saw this, but have you ever watched the Pat McAfee show?
Yes, I watch sometimes. Yeah.
Have you watched the latest edition?
I no, I have not. I have not seen this.
Well, funny enough, I did, and guess who was the guest? It was Michael Cole, as a matter
Really?
of fact. Yeah, and I was led to believe after watching that he is coming back, but to be fair, he was a little open. They left it open-minded sort of thing. Like, yeah, look, it's 50-50, man. He should be back. I was led to believe he's back, but maybe he's not back after all. So I don't know. I mean, I found it kind of surprising that he wasn't on SmackDown yesterday. So I don't know what's happening there. But you're right. He's got way more energy when it comes to Pat McAfee. He gets in the mood. And like you said before, I was never the biggest Cole fan, but man, when he's with McAfee, he absolutely rises to a whole different level.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, we know McAfee's under contract. We know that Triple H and them have allowed him to do the Fox thing. Maybe it was he just felt he wasn't ready because he didn't know all the storylines and everything. Because, there was some of that last night or last week when we watched the Rumble where he's like, wait, what's going on again? Who's this again? What are they, I mean, and like, I don't doubt that was legit Pat McAfee going, what? Because he just spent, what, 4 or 5 months just devouring college football and having to spit all this information out. I doubt
True
he
that.
had time to keep up with WWE storylines. And
Well,
so it seemed genuine. His like, wait, what's going on again? Like, who's this? Like, so maybe he like to be because he seems like he's a guy that wants to excel in what he does. So he's like, look, give me a week. I'm going to take this next week off post Rumble. I want to really kind of dive in and make sure I'm up to date with everything. And then I'll be back the next week. Maybe that's what it was. But we know he's under contract. We know that he's there. So that's my thought is maybe he just felt, after the Rumble, look, I want to be a great broadcaster. So let me catch up. Let me catch up a little bit this week. And we'll take this Friday off, and then I'll be back next week. Maybe that's what it was.
I hope you're right. But to be fair, he doesn't really know what's happening when it comes to Raw. But it seems like he was kind of in tune when it came to SmackDown. He did say
A little
on
bit.
his show, yeah, like he did say on his show that he watched SmackDown the last few weeks, so he knew what he was doing come Rumble. But he just didn't watch Raw because, that's 3 hours on top of the
Right.
2 hours that you have to watch with SmackDown. So he's kind of in tune when it comes to SmackDown, but not really with Raw.
Right. And I mean, if you don't, sometimes with Raw, like, like for me, like I didn't understand the whole, all of a sudden they were having this tribunal for Sami Zayn on Raw when the week before it's like, oh, hey, oh, hey, Elizabeth. Hey, everybody, Elizabeth's here. She was at the Rumble last week.
Was
So,
she? Oh, what up,
yeah,
Liz?
yeah, she was there. So I think for me, it's one of those things where, um, you know, when I heard his voice last week, it was great. I missed it. I didn't realize how much I miss Pat McAfee on SmackDown.
Me
But
too,
like
man.
at the same time, if I don't follow Raw, I feel like I miss a lot, but I just don't have the energy to do it. And the best I do is their WWE puts out those top 10 moments on
Yes,
their
yes.
YouTube channel. That's about
Right,
the
right.
best I can do to watch, the show and do it that way because it's like, yeah, I don't have the energy. It's like they take the 3 hour show and put it in like 10 to 15-minute blocks. And it's like, okay, yeah, I can handle it. And even then, sometimes when I feel like something's going long, I just go like, like, all right, are we there? I got it already. Go, and so it's just kind of like, all right, I get it. So, and I mean, of course, or they have the segment. So if like there's a segment that I see in the top 10, then I'll scroll back down and go, okay, I kind of want to see that segment a little bit. That very rarely happens, but every now and then I'll scroll down to the segment, and that's how I keep up at best. But even still, it's not where I'm keeping and engaging completely with everything. So, I mean, I guess the question really is, uh, Jimmy, what can we do? What's the best way for someone like me who's like, and Mondays I don't have the time because I work my program with our kids, so I'm not getting home till 8, 9 o'clock somewhere in there, and by that time Raw's most of the way done or over halfway done, and I've worked a 10, 12 hour day. I'm not going to sit down and watch Raw. I'm going to eat dinner and go to bed. So
I feel you, man.
what's a good way to catch up without it feeling soul draining, I guess is the question.
Well, I don't know how it works with you guys with your cable stations and whatnot, but here we have also, like, if you don't watch it live, for example, you can either watch the whole thing on demand, or we've got also a Raw Highlights edition where it goes for about an hour. And it's just a whole condensed version of Raw, which works for me if I haven't watched it live. But really, yeah, other than that, the internet is the best way to actually watch it. I mean, yeah, like you said, the top 10s every week when they bring it out,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. I mean, it's very condensed, don't get me wrong, but you
Right.
get the gist about what's happening. So, yeah, that's fine
For the
too.
most
And
part.
plus, I mean, you can even download it. Yeah, I said it. You can download it and you can and you can forward what you don't want to watch and whatnot, or record it on demand and forward it. You know what I mean? So, yes, I said it. Oh, come on. There's
Yeah.
people out there that download it. I don't personally, right? Unless I've totally missed it. But the good thing is, when I watch it on demand, it cuts out all the ads,
Oh,
so
that's
that
cool.
helps too. Yeah,
That's
so that's
cool.
good.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
We had last night, we had SmackDown, but like, honestly, before we get into SmackDown a little bit, like, I feel like this was a week that was super weird, there where we didn't have a lot of news except for the passing of
No.
Lanny Poffo.
Right. Yes.
That happened Thursday or Friday, I think.
Something like that, and that's a shocker, dude. Because funny you bring him up. You know how I was talking about Jeff Lippman off the air, right?
Yeah,
Well, his girlfriend is good friends with Lenny Poffo. We call her La Sicaria. Her name's Viv, but we call her La Sicaria, and she's done numerous shows. She's from Ecuador. So Lenny Poffo, literally, I should show you this. I should show everyone because it's kind of funny. But cut a long story short, he had the hots for her. So to the point where he moved to Ecuador. She lives in the States now, but he really had the hots for her. And my co-host Jeff Lippman, he got a kick out of it. Don't get me wrong. Hey, look, she's good looking. I'll give him that.
yeah,
But she really is. But yeah, he really had the hots for her, and they were close. And unfortunately, I mean, we don't know how he passed, but I'm going to assume that it's probably more than likely a heart attack. But Lippman brought up a good point. When he moved to Ecuador, he was moving around everywhere, and apparently he went pretty high in altitude where he was living up in the mountains. And that could have a lot to do with it, going up the mountains down. It can't be good if you're a lot older, and high altitude can really cause you a lot of problems if you're not used to it. But he was in New York City just a few days ago, just right before he passed away. So yeah,
right.
that's shocking, man.
It really is. And honestly, he's one of those wrestlers that I know I should know more, but I don't, because I didn't watch a lot of 80s, 70s, and 80s wrestling. I was born in
I loved
78.
80s. I loved 80s wrestling. Yeah.
A lot of it is after the fact for me. I knew a little bit. I knew about Hulk Hogan a little bit because he was, pop culture at the time. I knew about Macho Man.
Right.
And like, it wasn't until much later in life that I learned Lanny Poffo, the genius, was, Macho Man's brother. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, what? Like,
It's
what?
true.
Like, and it's crazy, And so, like, I'd heard the name, but I never really watched it. But I would get him and Barry Horowitz confused a lot,
He's a little above Barry Horowitz, I will say. He was a jobber, but you know who he was? Think of Damien Sandow today. The genius was the first Damien Sandow,
Gotcha.
excuse me, type of character, man. Pretty much to a T. I mean, he would say poems before his matches. I mean, look, he would lose all the time, but he was an upper mid card sort of jobber, man. He wrestled everybody from Hulk Hogan to the Ultimate Warrior, you name it, and he would always get jobbed, man. But he was good at what he did.
Yeah, but I remember he would always wrestle. He would job like the more prominent guys. It was not
He would.
not
It's
like
true.
mid card guys. It was
No.
like upper level guys.
Upper level guys.
He was like,
Absolutely.
I guess you'd call him an upper level jobber.
He
really,
was. Absolutely.
and
That's why I said upper mid card jobber for real.
yeah,
Man.
and I saw a promo he did this week where they introduced him, where he and apparently his gimmick is he rhymed everything, I guess.
He would say poems and he would rhyme, and he was acting
Yeah.
very flamboyant, if you get
Yeah.
my drift, right?
Yeah.
Like, you'd think he's kind of gay, if you know what I mean, but he
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah, and so it's to me, it, but here's the other time I learned of Lenny Poffo when he tried to do commentary for a New Japan show. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did
Oh,
actually.
that was so bad.
That
Like,
was bad. I was
oh, it was
surprised too. Why would they
yeah.
get Lenny Poffo, leaping Lenny Poffo, to do New Japan commentary? Like, seriously,
For the English comedy, it was just so awful. Like you could tell he had no clue what was going on, but
no clue.
he was there. They had him. They paid for it, so it's like, well, let's use him. So, I thank God it was a one off. Thank God there was nothing else that came from it. But man, that was like, ugh, so bad. And I
It
mean,
was bad.
oh, and so the other thing that I want to talk to you about this week, officially, Ibushi has left New Japan
That's
officially.
right. Officially.
Officially. So, how do we feel about this Ibushi run, and how do we feel about him leaving New Japan, Jimmy?
Well, I'm sure you heard all the weird stories coming out of Japan
Mm-hmm.
initially with Kota Ibushi. Obviously, he's left on bad terms. He just let his contract, run out, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should expect him to sign with AEW, man, very soon. That's the rumor, that's the talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see that. I can see the Golden Lovers reforming once again in AEW.
But they've just done this whole elite thing with
That's
Kenny and
true
the
too.
Bucks and everything, and so why
They,
not? Why not let that play out? You sign him kind of under the table, but let him do other things where he works for GCW or different other company. I mean, I'm just saying in general, like
right,
because
right.
there's talk of like him going to GCW.
I think he is making an appearance at GCW, as a matter of
Right.
fact.
I think I saw that somewhere. And let him kind of do his thing and build up his American presence, and then you sign him to AEW. Not that like Americans don't know him, but let's be honest, how
It's a
many
niche.
how many AEW people really know Ibushi in New Japan and all that? Let's build an audience a little bit, and then let him go from there. I mean, because hell, Ibushi's coming back. I mean, not Ibushi. Suzuki's coming back, and he's got a tour coming for the United States. So I think it was either February, March, or March, April. I don't know where he's going, but he's taking bookings and he'll be in America. So it's like, okay, if he's anywhere near here, guess where I'm going to be watching Suzuki, make people cry. That's what I want to do in life. Having seen it once and him using his Brooklyn English to say, I speak little English, but fuck you.
That was the best when you said
Oh
that
my god.
last week.
Oh man,
Like,
it was
fuck you.
fuck you.
You know what he did here, dude, which made me laugh, and I forgot to mention it, man. I saw him in a match with what's it called, Bronson Reed. Funny enough, who was formerly known as Jonah Rock here in Australia,
Right.
and it was at a New Japan show. He literally pole drive Jonah Rock, dude. I couldn't believe it, and
What?
because the fans, yeah, man, and because the fans were going nuts. You know what I mean? I think he was kind of surprised. He didn't expect maybe the Australian fans to know Cousin in Array and stuff, right? Which
Right.
everyone did. And he goes, I come back here. You know what I mean? And we're like, yeah.
You
No
got
worries.
when he tries to speak English, it's so great because like I feel like he really does not give a shit about English, but like
No, why should he?
he does it to pop the crowd, and he knows, and like he had to have like sat with Lance in the back because they knew this was coming. Chris Dickinson
Right.
come out. He had to sit with Lance Archer in the back and be like, they whatever however they communicate, and he's like, okay,
Oh, that'd
I
be very
say
good.
fuck you, him. And it's like, yes, yes. And Lance is like, just like that. Like, because then he turns around and looks at Lance and I did okay? And Lance is like, yeah, like, exactly, really good.
Excuse me.
And so it was, oh man, it was so hilarious. But like, you've got Suzuki here, boy. That would be fun to have Suzuki and Ibushi in a match in America. That would really build some. That gets some butts and some seats somewhere. And builds Ibushi's presence to make him, where whenever you get the triple threat or the trios belts off Kitty and the Bucks, maybe then you could start considering the Golden Lovers again. I know they tried to do that whole Golden
Golden
Lover, Golden Elite thing. Maybe you come back to it. I just feel like it doesn't work as well because Kenny and Ibushi, they need to be their own thing. they don't need to be a part of something else. It felt awkward and weird to have that Golden Elite bit.
It was more awkward and weird because of Ibushi being sort of part of it, right? To me,
Yeah,
anyway.
and he's
But
just weird and goofy.
he is. No, he is weird. No, for real. Like, the guy is weird. I mean, look at some of the matches he's had in the Indies, right? Lighting up flares, like all sorts of weird shit. I mean, he's a tripper, man. Like we say down here, he's a bit of a, he's out
Yeah.
there. But put that aside, Kota Ibushi is one of the best talents in professional wrestling. Period. When it comes to in-ring work, I mean, he looks like $1,000,000. Also, I know there'll be listeners out there that are scoffing at us saying that, right?
Yeah.
But it's true. Facts are facts.
Mm-hmm.
He truly is one of the best. And do we really need to see a Golden Lovers storyline again, though? I would rather see Omega and Ibushi possibly collide.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not?
I would think it'd be more of a story. Like, I think the better story is that Ibushi thinks Kenny is like his friend, but then they turn into bitter rivals because of that. And Kenny's not his friend, that he's turned his back on the whole idea of the Golden Lovers, and now they're going to war, And I think that's where you can get unhinged Kenny and unhinged Kota, and those two would just kill it. I mean, we've seen it before, way back in the day. Why not bring that back now? Yeah, that's way back. So bring it back now. We have it. I guarantee you, most people have not seen Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, where they went to war with each other, and that would be amazing. I think, to see. But that's me in that aspect. So, all right. One other thing I wanted to do, and I started to do this with James, but it fell off real quick. But I thought it would be fun. So what I'd like to do, Jimmy, is let's do a little USA versus Australian slang. All right. Well, you throw out a slang term for Australia, and I'll try to guess it, and then I'll throw out a slang term in the United States, and I have a feeling you're going to have a better shot at this than I am.
I know a lot of your slang.
Yeah,
trust
you
me,
do.
so.
You do. So what I'll do is let you go first. You throw out an Australian slang, and then I'll give you one. We'll see how you do.
All right. What does sick cunt mean?
Sick cunt.
Sick cunt.
Ugh. Okay, so
Think about it.
no, I am. Okay. First of all, I hate using that word cunt, but
I know. Americans really hate the term cunt. I know that. It's very derogatory. But here in Australia, we use it in a complete different context.
Right. So, I have a feeling it's someone who is just how am I trying to describe this? They're almost pervy. No. Okay.
It's actually a compliment, believe it or not.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah. So if I say you're a sick cunt, that means you're
yes,
cool.
He did. Really?
Did he just say sick cunt? I did say sick cunt. Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, it's like saying, "Oh man, that was sick," or that was ill, for example. But yeah, here if I say to my friend, "Oh bro, you're a sick cunt," that means that's a compliment.
Okay.
As weird as that is.
All right. Let's see. All right. And I'm trying to think of a good one here that you may not know.
If you go all Texas on me, maybe I won't know it.
Okay. Okay. Maybe I'll do it. Okay. Let me. Okay. That kind of changed it up a little bit. See, but that's the thing is a lot of Texas slang is used in movies and TV shows. So,
you know what? I'm not the biggest movie or TV buff, to be honest.
Okay.
I watch certain shows, but
all right. How about this? If I say bless your heart, what does that mean?
Really? I assume bless your heart means bless your heart, bless you, pretty much. It's almost saying you're dumb, though, in a way.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. It's bless your heart, you're such a fucking idiot.
That's with everybody. I mean, it's not that it's an Australian slang term, but people say it here too. So That was
Yeah.
too easy, actually, John. Come on, man.
Yeah, no, it was. But I mean, it's one that fine. I'll give you another one.
Give me
All
a
right.
harder one than that one. Come
Okay.
on.
All right. Fine. Now I have to think a little bit.
Even if you think I know it, you never know. I might not know it. So
Okay. Now I'm really thinking. I'm trying to stay Texan because
don't think too hard. I mean, if you need to go outside the Texan box, feel free.
I may. Mm,
Even if our listeners want to shoot me, shoot me one.
yeah. All right.
Don't be shy.
If anybody wants to, uh, okay. uh, no. Bless your heart does not
No.
mean better you than me. It means that person is an idiot, and you're
Yeah.
doing it a nice way. It's like
It's like
bless your
saying you're
heart.
not the sharpest tool in the shed, pretty much.
Exactly. There you go. You're
It-
saying,
you know what I mean?
you're not the brightest crayon in the box.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, okay. Um, let's see. Good Lord. Now that I had that one, and now I got
All
totally
right.
thrown off. All
While
right.
you think, I'll shoot you another one. How's that?
Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Now I'm thinking, even though it should be real easy, but all right, this is going to be an easy one for you though, John,
Okay.
because I'm sure most of America knows this, because this person was pretty famous in your neck of the woods as well as mine.
Okay.
Crikey.
It's okay. So, from my understanding, it is an exclamation like "Whoa! Wow!" Like
Yeah, basically, right? Like, whoa, what do we have here? You know what I mean? So, or
yeah.
like, wow, in a shocked sort of,
Yeah.
way.
Okay, so it's funny. I'm looking at the chat here, and a whole bunch of people are like, "Bless your heart means this. Oh, and this. Oh, this. Okay, so Elizabeth has one. One of my favorite Southern things. You're so pretty.
You're
Yeah.
so ugly.
Pre-
Or you're a smartass kind of thing.
uh,
Like you're cute. You're being cute type of deal, yeah.
I don't know. I would say Elizabeth, you'd have to help us out with that one because I don't I don't know.
Is it like saying you're being cute in a like smart
Oh
sort of
no
way?
no. Yeah, no, it's more like this. Like so, and this applies mostly to females. Like if they say something dumb, then you're like, you're so pretty.
Yeah, well, that's what
That's more of what I think it took me a minute. Sometimes we're there. Okay, last one. Let me think here. All right. Do you know what a crick is?
A what?
A crick.
A crick
Mm-hmm.
with a C.
Yeah.
Actually, I've never heard that one before, so I don't think I do know what a crick is.
Okay. So it's also termed a creek.
Oh, okay.
But
all right,
you
now
go
I
to
get it.
you go to some places. And they'll call it-
Southern slang sort
no,
of thing. Just
this is
not?
actually up in like Colorado, Western,
Really?
Montana. They'll call it, instead of calling it a creek, they'll call it a crick. And
Is that because of the accent, though?
I don't know, because Colorado doesn't have a major
No,
accent.
they don't.
And
That's
neither
true.
does like Wyoming or anything like that. It's just for some reason, every time I've been to Colorado, Wyoming area, and we're in the area, like I've done a horseback ride up there, and like, hey, be careful, it's across a creek. And it's like, that's the word they'll use, crick instead of creek. And I'm like, well, what's the difference? Oh,
Makes
they're the same
sense.
thing. They just say it. So it's fun. Like sometimes we'll have different words for stuff that you're just like, okay, yeah. And even in the United States, it's like,
Well, that's why I thought Southern, because it's like saying right there sort of thing.
Yeah.
If you
Right
know what I
there.
mean. But I'll give you one. That should be
Okay.
easy. What's Macca's?
oh, I know that one is. That's McDonald's.
That's right. It's like
I
you
know
guys
what-
say Mickey D's.
Yeah.
We call it Macca's.
I know what Akadaka is too.
AC/DC.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, that's
Of course.
yeah.
Probably Australia's best ever band, dude. I mean,
Oh
shit.
yeah. Yeah,
For
well,
sure.
okay,
Up
I'm
there.
not gonna lie. I might know a couple because I watch Aussie Man reviews on YouTube.
Oh, God.
And every now and then,
He's funny, though. I'll give you
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I've seen some stuff and he's funny, but he does every now and then with celebrities. He'll do guess the Australian slang. So I've heard a couple
Hey.
things.
Believe
Like,
it or not, actually, John, there's some Australian slang that I don't even know. I kid you
really?
not. I kid you not, man. There's a couple of things that I've heard of more recently that I was like, what the hell is that? I've never heard of that. So, but also it depends what state, I'm from Melbourne. There
Hmm.
could be like, it's like saying, there's another Aussie term. And when I say Aussie term, like I'm talking about real redneck Aussie terms. It's like, how are you, cobber? You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like, it's almost like saying, it's like, how are you, mate? Right?
Okay.
So, but some people, especially the real true blue Aussies, they're like, "How are you, cobber? What you doing there, cobber?"
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a bit weird,
So
but I
what's
don't
a
say that personally.
what's an Australian redneck like then? So could
Right
you?
there, that's an Australian redneck. The way man, you think you guys have got rednecks? I don't think you ain't got shit on Australian rednecks. Believe me, Australian rednecks is like your look. You probably think I sound very Australian, clearly, right?
Right.
But like, think of Paul Hogan, right, in Crocodile Dundee, or
Okay.
Steve Irwin. They talk like redneck Australian, like
Really?
that's not a knife. This is a knife.
Yeah.
Like, look at me, an Australian doing an Australian accent, impersonating an Australian accent. Isn't that weird? Like for me, because I know he's gonna sound weird. Like I've got that sort of a person that's not like a person that's ethnic is the term for an ethnic. Even though I'm born in Australia, but I'm looked at as an ethnic
Right.
for being Greek background. We're called wogs, but it's
Okay.
derogatory. It's like using the N word like to us, but we
Okay.
say it to each other. It's all good, right?
Okay.
So like my accent is kind of like the wog accent compared to the real Aussie accent. You'll understand if you hear like Paul Hogan or say Steve Irwin. They talk like proper Aussie slang,
Okay.
Whereas we don't really use that type. We don't go around saying "Crikey, what do we have here?" Like we don't do that. Or shrimp on the barbie. We don't put shrimps on the barbie. Just quietly, John.
Hmm. Okay. So that's
Yeah,
there. I mean, it's
absolutely,
more like hillbillies. Okay. All
for
right.
sure. You
Okay.
know what we call rednecks here? Look it up. Bogans.
Bogans. Okay.
Look
Okay.
up
So
bogans.
somebody just said bogan hunters
Oh,
is
there
the
you
best
go.
TV series.
There you
So
go.
okay. All right. So all right. So maybe every time this week we'll have a fun like let's talk Australian.
I'll
You
get more
know.
prepared next time for that
I
one.
know. Me too. We'll
All
be
right,
better.
next week we're gonna be ready, and
Yeah.
we're gonna really give it a red hot go.
Yeah, it will be. So, all right, I guess maybe let's knock this show out. Let's talk about it a little bit.
Do we have to?
I mean,
I'm
we're
joking.
here for the snack attack. Unless you have
Right,
something else.
absolutely.
If you have something else, then I'm good for it. But right
I'm
now,
joking. I'm joking. I'm
right
joking.
now, I don't have anything else up my sleeves. Because, like I said, there was not really any big wrestling stories this week, other than Lenny Poffo and I think Kota Ibushi were the big ones that happened this week. But of course, I really didn't check my stuff because I had 5 days of no work, and I was like, I just took the
Sweet.
time to enjoy it. I got out, went to the gym, even though I wasn't supposed to. Department of Transportation is not going to tell me what to do.
Yeah, screw them.
And then it's just kind of it was like, all right, well, I'm going to spend time with my son, and we sat down and we watched shows. We caught the new season of Vox Machina, so we're catching up with that. We started some other shows together and just had a good time with it. So
Awesome.
he's with his mom right now. I dropped him off yesterday, and he might be with her till tomorrow. I don't know.
That's a quick stay.
Well, she's Chaos Hurricane, as we kind of discussed before.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
surprised you said that, but anyway.
No. But I did find out this week because again, this is my ex-wife. This is the person that I had a child with.
Wow.
We have here in the States, it's called DoorDash, where people.
Yeah, we got DoorDash here
Okay,
too.
okay, I don't know. So she's a
We got
DoorDasher.
DoorDash.
So
Right.
she's a DoorDasher. So I guess because she doesn't have a job yet, but she's got an apartment. So apparently she was DoorDashing on like Tuesday when it was like the worst for the ice, and she fell and broke her wrist DoorDashing,
Ooh.
and I don't know. It was the whole thing, and I was like, why? In my head, I didn't say it to her face. I'm like, why in the fuck are you door dashing when it's like the shit's outside? There's literally ice everywhere. Like, it was literally a Vanilla Ice song. Ice baby, too cool. And I mean, just I'm going, why are you doing that? And it's like, oh well, they're saying that it was delivered, but I was doing the delivery when it happened, and it's a whole thing. Like, oh my god, like I don't care. Okay, well I'm busy. I gotta talk to you later. I don't want to hear this drama. And so she's like, oh, could he come over this weekend? I might need some help. Here's I broke my rib. I was like, all right, fine. So I dropped him off yesterday afternoon. And she said, oh, well, maybe I'll keep him till Sunday, but we don't know. Maybe I'll just drop him off Saturday. It's whatever's convenient for her.
Of course. You know how it is. I mean,
Yeah.
geez.
And so it's like, fine, whatever. So you would think that she would want to spend time with her child, but
Well, I hope so. I mean, shit. You think,
No.
right?
yeah,
I mean, is he happy to go there at least?
Look, he at least understands now at this point that this is a convenience for her. And so he goes and he does it, but it's not like he's like, yay, I get to spend time with mom. He's like, all right, well, she broke her wrist, so whatever. He would be just as fine not seeing her. Or
I understand. I get it, man.
Your mom leaves for a year and a half. She takes a whole year before she sees you in that year and a half, and then she moves back and expects everything to be fine. And then she tries to justify it by saying, well, I asked if I should go, and he said I could. I'm like, you need your 15-year-old at the time to justify you leaving? Like, really? Really? Okay. Well, all right. It's turning into a therapy session. I don't need that in my life.
Yeah, we should move on. We are live after all, right?
Yeah, we are live after all, so we should talk SmackDown. We'll have a therapy session about SmackDown. So last night, February 3rd, it was in Greenville, South Carolina. We talked about earlier, Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. One thing I will have to say about WWE in their production is, man, they no Canada Spaceman, no, that will not happen. No, I do not. No, we don't. Don't
wipe my bum.
Well, and then no, she does not want to get back together with me, and I don't want to get back together with her. No, this is not the same person I married. This is not a person I would date, be involved with, whatever. Anyway, so one thing I will have to say is you can't fault their production.
Hell no.
No matter what, I don't care what anybody says. AEW
sucks.
It's a fraction of what WWE has production.
Dude, can I just ask you something quickly before you continue? Yeah. Did you catch Dynamite this past week?
I caught bits and glimpses of it. I didn't catch the whole thing.
Did you see the Moxley Hangman Adam Page match?
Where he blazed right in front of everybody?
Right. And that's his fault too, don't get me wrong. But the production are supposed to pan away from him blading. Not only did the cameras catch him blading, but the cameras also caught him taking the blade out while he was on the outside, right? So that should tell you how shit their production is. I'm not just that, even on Rampage, we did Uncaged, a few hours back. And, man, it was slap thigh city, dude. I mean, seriously. And again, that's the production's fault for catching all that shit. For whatever reason, they just, I don't know, they just don't seem to know. But look, to be fair, Moxley should have maybe bladed while he was outside, roll over on his stomach, and then blade. Not in the corner in front of absolutely everybody. Right. And not give a shit. So that's on him too. But to be fair, the production sucks also.
Well, and I mean, just the camera work, the lighting, everything about it, honestly, is so, I don't want to say Mickey Mouse, but it really kind of feels Mickey Mouse compared to WWE. And boy, I mean, do they know how to shoot things? I would say right now, the next closest competitor production-wise is New Japan.
New Japan is awesome with their production. Really. Yeah. You don't catch any of that shit. I mean, come on. No, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I would say WWE's number one and a solid number two is New Japan. And
I agree. 100%.
And I mean, to me, that makes some of these shows worth watching just for production value wise. Where it's like, okay, the story's like, but at least I know I'm going to get something pretty.
Right.
It's kind of like, why do guys go to the strip clubs? Not because they're going to get anything, but sometimes you see something pretty. So, all right, that's fine. So
stroke the ego a little bit if that strokes the ego while you're throwing money away. But you know how it is.
No, I don't, because I've never been, because they didn't make no sense to me.
To
They
be
make it.
fair, I've never been either, man. I
Yeah.
won't lie. I've never been, man. I've been asked to go a million times. For whatever reason, it's just to me, like you just brought up, throwing money and not even getting anything. I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
It makes no
Seriously.
sense. It makes
It
no
makes
sense.
no sense. I
And
don't want to rub.
yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah, I know, right? I mean, I can do that by myself at home. Uh,
That's
yeah.
right.
So, all right. So we had, and the show starts with the recaps. Man, good lord,
I'm not gonna lie, John. This show was very much an infomercial in many ways,
yeah,
man.
it really was for Elimination Chamber and everything else that they had. But we did get the cut to the arena with Kayla in the background and Solo, Jimmy, and Roman getting in. I liked this segment, especially like Paul Heyman after like Roman dismisses her. Paul Heyman is like,
Yeah.
"Hey, thanks for wearing our colors." You know, you know,
Him and
like,
Kayla are brilliant together, man.
yes, they really are. They are.
They
They're a
really
lot of
are.
fun. And then they talk about how Jay, they can confirm or deny the status of Jay in the bloodline. So, of course, I didn't see Monday, so I don't know if they discussed any of this Monday.
Nothing.
They nothing. Okay, all right. So apparently Jay is questionable about being in the bloodline at this point. So how did you feel about this segment? Did it work as a warm up for what we're going to see for the show?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much spot on. I mean, the only problem is, see, back rewinding it back to Raw, I was looking forward to seeing what would happen with the Bloodline right off the bat after Royal Rumble ending. For whatever reason, we didn't get that. What we did get was a whole bunch of Cody who challenged Roman Reigns for the Universal WWE World Heavyweight Championship, whatever you want to call it. And as we will find out later on, someone else also challenged him for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. So, and I called it. I felt like I was the only one online that actually said that, while everybody was telling me, no, it's going to be the Usos against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the undisputed tag titles. But I guess I was right.
Yeah,
It's definitely not that.
and I mean, it's interesting that you say that because it's like, all right, so what? Again, I guess we'll go ahead and get into it a little bit. Is we had Cody win the Rumble, but we have this Sami Zayn story. How do we get to where we have Cody versus Roman? How do we build that story? Because, like you said on Monday, it sounds like they totally ignored that aspect. Cody challenging, Roman not responding. We're dealing with this tonight with what we're going to be dealing with. And I know we have an elimination chamber, and okay, let's go ahead and skip down to where we might as well, because we're gonna jump around. I'd rather we do that and we tell this story, because this is, I think, the best story still going on no matter what.
For sure, absolutely.
And so towards after Natalia wins that whatever match we'll talk about later, if we want to. So we have Roman coming down to the ring alongside Paul Heyman, and he gets a Sami chant going on, and he does the acknowledge me thing, and basically we see Roman is going to tell his story, and so he's like, I saw what I need to see in Sammy's eyes, and then Sami jumps in and attacks Roman from behind, and everybody's excited, and he fights back in with some knees to the face, and people are cheering Sami, and then Sami goes to hit Roman with the steel chair, and he rolls out of the ring with a look of shock and horror. Let's see. Sami grabs the microphone and says that Roman is wrong about him, never wanted anything from Reigns until now. And Sami is coming after the undisputed Universal Championship. And then the crowd cheers. And then Jimmy super kicks him. Solo Sikoa headbutts him and does a Samoan spike. Still the dumbest move in all of wrestling. All of
You
wrestling.
think so?
It's so stupid. Jimmy, he takes a risk that he tapes up with tape. So now he officially can't use the thumb,
Fair point.
and he goes, ah! And I'm
Well,
sorry. You take your
he's
thumb and you try to jam it right here on somebody, you're breaking your thumb. You're breaking your thumb, even if it's taped up. You better have like the metal and everything all up in that shit. If not, you're jamming or breaking your thumb. You know,
well. To be fair to Solo Sokoa, he is paying homage to
I know,
Umaga, which
I
is his
know.
uncle.
Look,
So
I
I
get
get
that.
it.
I
Right.
get it, but it's stupid. It is stupid. Even when Umaga did it, let's be honest, Umaga needed a better move than that. That dude was a badass and
Oh, no doubt.
devastated. You give him the Samoan spike, like what the hell? Like and so these guys jump in, and then Rain stop. Solo's going to hit Sammy, and Rain stops him, and we want Jay chance, and he says he doesn't have Jay because Sammy broke up his bloodline, which is an interesting thing. So right now Roman has confirmed that Jay is no longer a part of the bloodline. You know,
Did he really confirm that though?
because he says he doesn't have Jay, my right hand man, because Sammy broke up the bloodline. He says that. He doesn't say it over the microphone. He says it to Sammy in the corner, but like the mics pick it up. It's one of
Right,
those
right,
things,
right.
which I love when that happens. I love those kind of. Nobody in this crowd is going to hear it, but we on TV hear that little thing where he says, "You broke up my family, you broke up my bloodline," and he wants Sammy in Montreal in Elimination Chamber so he can break him in front of his entire family. This is all said off mic, where supposedly only Roman and Sammy are hearing it, but we on TV hear it. So it's like,
Right.
all right, this is good. And so Roman says he's going to just break him there, and then he holds up the titles and told Sammy he should have stayed in the bloodline, and now it's done. And holds up the titles and ends the show. Of course, Roman loves the thing. Surely they're not going to give Sammy the titles, right? Surely they're not going to give Sammy the titles, right?
Oh,
Right?
look,
Because you
man.
can't, you can't, you can't have Cody and Sammy
No, you can't. That's
at
true.
WrestleMania. No,
Well, Canada Spaceman says in the chat, are they going to make a Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns triple threat match at Mania? I doubt it.
no.
I mean, I doubt it. But I will say this: if Sammy don't win that championship in Montreal at Elimination Chamber, those Montreal Canadian fans are wild, dude. And
Yeah.
I've got a feeling either we're gonna get this, either a stupid kayfabe screw job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jey Uso turns on Sami Zayn anyway and rejoins the bloodline, and takes out Sami.
Right.
But or maybe
Oh, just
we
when
get. Do you remember when Kane?
you froze. You froze.
Oh
You're like,
man, there I
or
am.
you
There
were
I
like,
am. There I
or, and then you froze right there, like
am.
right when you're getting ready to say your point. I was like, oh, son of a bitch.
Well, I'm back. That's all that matters. But or could we get a possibility like when Kane first won his first ever WWF Championship? I think at King of the Ring in '99. But he only held it for a day, and then they hotshotted the title the next night straight back to Stone Cold. Could we possibly get a scenario like that? That wouldn't surprise me, man. Where he wins the championship in his home state of Montreal or province, shall I say,
Yeah.
of Quebec, and then they hotshot the belt back to Roman Reigns, say in a couple of weeks. I can see that.
Right, but like they made specifically to say it was 887-day reign of Roman Reigns, right? So the question becomes, do you like? I wonder when they get to Elimination Chamber, what will his reign be? Will it be 900 days or something like that? Do they want to like break that streak at 900-ish days, or do they want to just keep it going to Mania? And that's my thought process. Is like we got that we I think what's more likely is you make it look like Sammy's going to win. I like your idea of Jay either turning his back on Sammy and being like, no, never mind, I'm joining the bloodline, or Jay cementing the fact that he's turning his back on Roman and join Sammy, but it costs Sammy the title.
How would
Yeah.
that work though?
So Roman is about to like put Sammy away at Elimination Chamber, and Jay jumps from the crowd and super kicks Roman And of course, because it's interference, because this isn't a no DQ match, right? I think
As far as I know, I don't think so,
it's
but
just
we
a
don't
title
know.
match. It's just so
Right.
he runs in, super kicks Roman, DQ, and Sammy and Jay work together, and then Kevin. So you've got those three versus the Bloodline as you're building to Mania, and then you start building your story with Cody, and then while having to deal with that as well. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot.
That's
Don't get me
risky,
wrong.
John. That's very
Oh, it's
risky.
very risky, but hey, well, you know what they say sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit sometimes. So
As long as
there's
it's
a
not a soggy biscuit, you know what I'm saying?
no, and we're talking American biscuits, the real ones. They also call scones. That's some bullshit. Good old Southern biscuits with gravy.
Right.
You
Which
know,
is, isn't it like a bread roll, really?
oh no, no. So the bread roll is a bread roll, but a biscuit is a
Okay.
biscuit. Like
But
I'm
isn't it
telling,
still a piece of bread?
it's a piece. I
I
mean,
mean,
I don't want to like demean it to a piece of bread. It's like fluffy and buttery, and
come
I'm
on.
telling
It's
you,
bread.
it's bread, but it's better than bread. All right, fine. You know, fine. You're gonna make me pull up a picture of a biscuit and share it with you.
I've
All right,
seen it before. But see, we call biscuit cookies here.
I know that. Oh,
Yeah.
because well, yeah, because then chips are crisp in England.
No, we call them chips here, though. We're like you guys.
Okay,
Chips are chips.
all right, and so they call what we call biscuits a scone, right? And
And
so
we call them, no, you call them cookies. Or our term for biscuits is cookies.
okay, right, and then let's see.
Scones are scones.
Okay, so let me do. Where is it? Like, all right, so that is a good Southern biscuit right there.
That's a scone.
That is a biscuit, sir. See,
Canada
all
Spaceman says it himself. He says, I have no idea what the difference between a biscuit and a dinner roll. They look the same to me.
this is, and see, this is a fluffy, flaky
That looks
biscuit.
nice, though. I'll
Biscuits
give
are
it
what
that.
take to the kitchen today. Fat, flaky mounds of quick bread, golden brown with significant crumb. Then you add this. You add biscuits and gravy. Oh,
But is that cream inside the biscuit?
that was butter.
Oh, butter. Okay, it looked like
Yeah,
cream for a minute, but
yeah.
I love butter. And then it's a scone, man.
It's
Except
not a
we put
scone.
jam in our wannabe biscuits,
No,
whatever it is,
no, no. And see, then you
and
throw
butter.
in. See, well, I mean, you do jam. Yeah, you can do jam. It's for us. It's a breakfast thing. But like, look at this. This is biscuits and gravy right here. That's Southern comfort food to the teas. You know, just it's a gravy, but it's like a white gravy with chunks of
White
sausage in it.
gravy?
Yeah, it's a white thick
Is it a
gravy.
sweet gravy? Thick. It looks
No,
very thick.
it's very thick. It is a savory gravy. So like think
Savory.
yeah, so like pepper and you throw your sausage meat in there. So here watch. The so for the biscuits, how do you make your gravy? Cook the sausage, add the flour and stir the milk and bring to a boil. Reduce to a simmer and continue cooking for 2 minutes. Season to taste. So that's all the gravy is milk and flour kind of mixed together to thicken it up to make more of this conjecture here, and then you combine that with the sausage that you've cooked. So now you've got all that put together in one thing that you pour on top of the biscuit like that. So I'm
Well,
telling you,
is
man,
this true, John? I mean, Media M5 says in the chat, Jimmy, the grey is made from the grease off of the breakfast meat. Is that true?
sometimes it depends on the cook. So
Yeah.
if you got a good Southern cook, you save your like bacon grease or your sausage grease, and you
Right.
use that as like you. So like for example, if I'm going to cook something in a pan, I'll either use butter as a grease, like to to coat my pan, or I've got bacon grease. If I'm going to add a
Bacon
bacon,
grease.
yeah. So I save my bacon drippings, put it in a jar, keep it in the
That's
fridge.
that's fattening, John.
Oh, whatever.
Total fatness right there. High
But
calories.
amazing. And then you coat your pan with the bacon grease and cook it up that way. And then whatever you're cooking has that bacon flavor to it. So
Hmm.
it gives it a little extra. There you go. And yeah, so like you can also you can use some would call that a roux. like we would do back home in
Like,
Louisiana for a gumbo. You
that's
just
what Media M5 also said in the chat
okay.
too. So
Where is it? Where? Okay, there. Yeah, yeah. So with the roux, you would use like I think 3 ingredients. It's like flour, butter, and I want to say something else. It's been so long since I made roux, but you got to stir it constantly, and all that fun stuff. So it's one of those things. So anyway, I mean, it's this. I mean, this storyline I think is real good. I think, because people were like, well, what happens with Sammy after we get that idea that Cody's coming back? What's going to happen with the bloodline? And if we pull Sammy too early, then, what are we going to do? To me, this gives enough intrigue. It gives enough story to make us go, what are they doing for WrestleMania? We know it's got to be Cody and Roman, but
is it?
right.
Yeah,
But
right.
surely they can't do Sammy and Cody. Surely they can't.
That doesn't shout out WrestleMania main event Cody
No,
versus Sammy, obviously. And don't get me
no.
wrong, Sammy's over, but he ain't Roman Reigns in terms of star power. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
exactly. And so, but it gives you that just enough of a question to make you go, where are they going?
things that make you go,
Right. So, I mean, hey, if nothing else, it makes you want to, you know, tune in for the next week, right? I mean, that's the whole bit. We have to.
Well, is it confirmed though? Did anyone confirm Sami Zayn being the number one contender? Like, did Adam Pearce come out and say, "Yep, number one contender"?
No, it's not that he's number one contender. It's that Roman wants to fight him
Right.
at Elimination Chamber because
But
he's the champ. He can make it.
But could we get a scenario where they won't sanction the match for the title, and it becomes a non-sanctioned match?
Well, maybe not. It becomes a non-title match. It could be a non-title match.
Sammy don't want that though. That's the thing. And like I said, they got to be careful because this fan base is very rowdy.
But he did say he was coming for Roman's Universal.
He did say that.
He
Right.
did say that. So Roman is basically giving him what he wants because he's the champ. So according to WWE rules, he can make up the matches. He can make up things how he wants. So so according to that logic, he's giving Sammy what he wants. So Elimination Chamber, and the idea, hey, we're going to be in Montreal, so I'm going to break you in front of everybody. I don't know.
But
Like
that'd
again,
be pretty dumb of Sammy though not to want to go for the championship. He needs to go for the championship. Like I said, either you hotshot the belt, make him win it for a night or two, a week or two, and then hotshot the damn thing, right? Which at least we can all say Sami Zayn became, Universal WWE World Champion, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be cool with that if they hotshot it because, truth be told, I don't think Sammy would be for the long term, even if you won the championship. Number two, though, I want Sammy to be the Mick Foley of when he won the. Hey, look who's in the chat! It's the opinion haver. It is the vet, and he says, "Who cares? Who cares? They ruined it. They ruined the whole thing. Why, vet? Why? Why aren't you? Come on, man. In what way have they ruined it? I want to know because the opinion haver definitely has an opinion.
Oh yeah, he loved this storyline, and so he he said the moment that Sammy leaves the bloodline is the storyline's over. So
well, Vet, if you aren't busy, how about you jump on a smack attack like you always do, man?
I'm sure he'll be like, send me the link. So I'm sure I'll get a text or something here in a minute and be like, send me the link. So
well, I'm intrigued. I want to know why he thinks they ruined it or they ruined it. But look, in some ways I can see where he's coming from because I think they've kind of rushed into the Sammy thing too quick in some ways. I would have been cool with it sort of prolonging it even past WrestleMania because in some ways they have kind of booked themselves into a corner depending on what they're going to do though. You know what I mean? Come WrestleMania. Because you got Cody challenging Roman, now you got Sammy challenging Roman. I mean, he's the champion. He should have the advantage, should he not?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. You're the vet, all right? Not
Look at me. Look at me. I am the vet now. I am
Fuck
the vet now.
you.
Oh, I was doing that Captain Phillips movie.
Oh, I thought you were doing
Look,
Suzuki.
no, Suzuki. Look,
Uh,
he where and I think in that movie the pirate looks at him, he's like, look at me. I am the captain now. I am the captain now.
I am the captain.
Yeah, so you are the vet now. Look,
One more, Captain Vet. One more for the audience. Do a fuck you.
I
That's the
speak
best.
little English, but fuck you.
That's
Just,
good.
that was just
That
ridiculous.
is so. Whoa, there goes everything. No, seriously, that is the best, man. I love it.
But I think I agree with you. Could this have gone longer? Yes, I think it could have, but I think there was, some question of Cody's coming back. Is he? Is he not? He was, but he was. And they wanted, I guess, I don't know why, honestly. Why does? But this feels like a WWE thing. Jimmy, you think about this. Vet is knows on this. We watch New Japan, and they will drag things out for a long ass time. I mean, think about
Long-term storytelling, John.
and think about the Hiromu El Desperado match from last year. That was
Brilliant.
That was 10 years in the making, and they
Absolutely.
sat on that for that long, and then brought it back, and everybody was like, "Holy shit, that was amazing!" And then when he rips the mask off, and there's just the paint of El Desperado on his face, and
That was cool, man.
oh my God, such a great moment. But that took that long. They let things linger and hold. And WWE has never done that. They have never done long-term storytelling. And
Until now.
But even still, though, they still hot-shotted Sammy a little bit, right?
They have. I agree. Yeah, for sure.
I think this could have, like you said, this has gone through WrestleMania. And so I think, honestly, in the end, this is one of those things where you have to wonder if creatively there's nobody else to go to like I guess challenge Roman before the Rumble. And so they wanted to do something because they didn't want to build Cody for 63 days or however long from Rumble to Mania. That's, why, I don't know. But, they wanted to build some space and let them kind of, I guess, do whatever. So they're throwing this in between, but who would feel, other than Sammy, who would you feel that with? There's nobody.
That's true. You're right. But they have built Sammy and Cody pretty hot right now, man. So they're the two right guys to be going for it. But realistically, I mean, Roman should, in a way, whoop Sami Zayn's butt, right? If you want to tell a story, really, Roman should absolutely destroy, annihilate Sami Zayn. You can go that way, right? I mean, they can tell a story. He could be like the little red fire engine that could. You know what I'm saying? But but then does Sammy soften up Reigns for Cody later on? I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna like where it's going when it goes with Sami Zayn. I just don't think it's gonna be a satisfactory sort of ending to that Elimination Chamber match either way. Unless we get a Mankind moment like on Raw. Remember that? It's going to put butts in seats and then everyone switched over.
Yeah.
And then him going, Adrian, I did it. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Something along those lines where, Sammy says, I don't know, KO, I did it. Because he's very much like a Mick Foley style character in some ways, except not a hardcore dude.
Right.
But in terms of sympathy, he's very much Mankind of today.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that at all. I think that's a great comparison, Jimmy. Minus the hardcore, Sammy is, for lack of a better phrase, he's the everyman, the people's champ. He's the one people recognize and deal with. And a lot of people in the chat agree that it was done a little bit too early, and I don't disagree with it at the time. So I don't know, but here's that brings up a great point. Roman had a competitive match with Logan Paul, more competitive than Owens at the Rumble. Ridiculous. So he can sell for Sammy, and I
guess he's right.
I don't disagree with that at all. So,
but Vet, does Sammy win the championship at Elimination Chamber? And if so, does he hotshot the belt back to Roman before WrestleMania? That's the $1 million question. That's the thing. So I don't know, man. It's tricky.
Isn't that the story with Sami Zayn from the beginning, though, that he's always been the underdog and he always finds that way to have the heart to come back and fight and fight and fight and win that title when he wasn't supposed to, like the NXT title or whatever. And that's the story that I think they're going to try to tell. Is that
It's gonna backfire, man. And I got
I
a
don't know.
feeling, like media says in the chat, nope, Roman goes over clean. I got a feeling that might just happen too. But it's gonna, oh man, the crowd's gonna be pissed.
Right, right. But hey, let's look at it this way. Uh, and yep, there you go. Absolutely, Zayn does not win. No, and no, and
Well,
no
is
world does he win.
Montreal the wrong place to do this match then?
No, because again, this goes back to the WWE. You're going to your hometown and you're going to get your ass kicked, right?
Right. Yeah,
It's your
well,
birthday in your hometown and you get your ass kicked, right? This is just keeping up with tradition, if nothing else. But I think Sammy and Roman will tell a competitive, interesting story, and will give us kind of like with the Logan Paul match, like right. There were some moments where like, what the fuck? Are they going to let him win this? Like, holy shit. And I could see that happening with this match because, again, nobody expected Logan Paul to do anything in that match, and he absolutely did it. Now you're getting Sammy, who is a veteran, who knows what the hell he's doing, with Roman in a match. I see more of a Logan Paul, not like Logan Paul style, but more in the sense of the competitiveness. Like, he's going to do things, and Sammy's going to kick out, and he's like, the fuck? And we're going to get those facials of Roman going, I can't believe this, kind of thing. And we'll get the half dead Sammy who just finds a way to keep going. And I can see them easily putting on a 35-minute match and it be intriguing and competitive and have good storytelling. But in Montreal, on top of that, where you have them, wanting to explode and they don't get to do it, and you got to pay for that at Mania to see it, kind of thing.
I
But
hope they riot if that happens.
but they would riot if he won. I mean, that's the whole bit, right? They're probably gonna riot no
But
matter
tell
what.
me it wouldn't be such a great sort of scene, like with Sammy being the champion. The fans are going banana, like Pat Patterson used to say.
Right?
And I mean, I don't know, man. It writes itself. If you want to really not, tie up a bow to the story, Sammy surely needs to get just that rub. You know what I mean? Because either way, and I think Reigns will win clean. Well, not clean. I mean, you're gonna have all sorts of people running into this match, including probably Kevin Owens, Jay Uso, Jimmy Uso, Solo, you name it. They're all gonna jump in. But are we gonna get a schmoz? Are we gonna get a Montreal Screwjob kayfabe?
Right.
Which would be even worse if we go there. I mean, there's a million different ways you can go, but like most people say in the chat, I wish they stretched it a little further
Right.
before we got to this point, because we went from these guys all being over and everybody just getting straight behind the bloodline to suddenly, they're cut loose. And let's be fair, is Jay Uso getting the more sympathy sort of reaction than Sami Zayn is?
Right.
Which is bad, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree with that, but I think though too, we're just starting this journey.
True.
I think we have to let this play out, see where it goes, and I think at the end of the day, it's still good storytelling compared to everything else. Which I mean, you know, I imagine from everything else on the show, we'll just burn through it super quick, because I mean, whatever. Okay, let's. There's nothing else really to describe. So, but I think at the same time, how many times have we said this with this Bloodline storyline? We're like, I don't know where it's going, and then it ends up being really, really good. So at this point, I lean more to, you know what? I'm going to give it some time. I want to see where it goes. Paul Heyman and them have done a really good job with this. So
Absolutely.
let me kind of hang on here and see where they go. This storyline at least has earned my trust to hold on a little bit more than anything else on the show has. So they started the show real quick. It was Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus Imperium for this tag team contenders tournament.
It's a tongue twister.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say about this? Jimmy?
Not really, man. I don't really like the pairing of Ricochet and Braun Strowman, but it is what it is, right? I mean, we got big and smalls. Can we call them that?
Yeah, Biggie Smalls. We
Biggie
got
Smalls.
Biggie Smalls, right? And I mean,
Baby, baby.
or big flippy shit, right? Big
Big
flippy.
flippy shit. I like it.
Yeah, there
Or
you
the
go.
big thumbs up, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean there,
Yeah.
John? Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I got you.
Look, I'm looking at Ricochet with the thumb.
Yeah, right.
Just
No,
quietly.
yeah, I know that. Well, and I mean, Braun doesn't have much room to talk. The, cat suit boy himself. So.
Braun Katsu. I mean, also a nurse dressing up like a nurse. Oh, come on, Braun.
Yeah.
That's not so Braun, man.
And then nipple rings and nose ring.
Oh.
All right, but Vet does make, before we move forward, the whole thing is service to Cody. They're using Sammy's sympathy to get heat on Roman because fans were enjoying Roman too much. If Montreal riots and the world sees that Roman gets all that heat, and then he says, and if Roman gets that much heat, people will be less likely to reject Cody when he wins. So
That's true.
I can see that. But I think real quick, I think the end you had. This was all to set up Ricochet standing on top of Braun Strowman to do his flippy shit and win that way, right? I mean,
people love him, man. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the fans, well, the WWE universe, shall I say, absolutely liked his pairing. And let's be real, I mean, Braun is kind of over, right? I mean, the fans are cheering for him.
Well, I think it's because, let's be honest, you have two, like, these are not workers. These are guys who are in the ring specifically for their featured match wrestlers. They're not going to wow you over with their work rate or whatever. Look at Ricochet in the Logan Paul segment in the Rumble. That, like, somebody replayed that this week for me and I'm like, that sound was no,
it was pretty bad, right?
That was so that's what they are. You're going to get something unique, exciting, and whatever from them, but you're not going to get wrestling. You're not going to get, that kind of thing. Whereas in this match, you have Imperium. You have those two guys who are solid hands in the ring, and then you let them win by, these, I don't want to call them featured, but like gimmick wrestlers, essentially. Braun Strowman is a gimmick wrestler because he's a strong man and he's the monster among monsters. And then Ricochet is a flippy shit guy. And I mean, he's the epitome of a flippy shit guy, And so then because of this all stems from a tweet that Braun Strowman put out about flippy shit. And then then Ricochet calls him out on it. Now all of a sudden they're best friends and they're working together. And it's like, oh, well, I respect you. I respect you too. Hey, little fella, let's go work together on this.
Little fella.
Yeah.
Come on, little Puma. I mean, can't we just get Ricochet as Prince Puma again? I mean, after the thumb incident, I would rather him be under a mask at this point because...
but, they're not going to do that because, he's marketable. And that's why I think he was off TV for a while because they let people try to forget about that.
100%. 100%.
And stuff like that. So, but yeah, this is dumb. Again, they weren't even in the tournament to begin with. And then you shove them in the second round, and essentially they got to buy the first round. And then like, oh, here we go. Let's have this. These two have it. And they're getting over on this. Now, was this a semifinal match or was this the finals? I don't remember.
I think it was semifinals, man.
Okay. All right. That's what I thought.
Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it is, though.
Right. Okay. So then, and by the way, that was a 2 commercial break match.
Yeah.
Ugh. Like, and so, God, the commercial breaks. So then we have the Sonya Deville versus Charlotte Flair match.
Why?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, didn't Charlotte say on this very episode of SmackDown that Rhea is very persistent? That's bullshit. I mean, I call bullshit right there. When has she been persistent about challenging Charlotte? I'll tell you who was persistent, and that was Sonya Deville wanting to get her hands onto Charlotte. And what? She's a loser once again.
Right. Yeah, but that's here. I got it. Kayla Braxton's backstage with Charlotte Flair. Charlotte says her match against Rhea is going to be epic, but tonight her focus is on Sonya. Um,
Ooh,
yeah, and so in comes Sonya, who says she wants the SmackDown Women's Championship. It will be her against Ripley, and they will be in Hollywood, and Hollywood needs a star, and she's a star. Flair laughs and tells her to save the
right.
trash talk for the ring. And then, oh, I forgot about this. The promotional clip segment of NASCAR involves New Day and Rey Mysterio with Judgment Day. Ray and Dominic would
That
race
was
with
funny.
Ray winning. Yeah,
That was kind of funny. I'll give him that, man. But
yeah,
here we go.
yeah.
Professional wrestling and NASCAR go hand in hand.
Well, because Fox has the rights here in the United States for SmackDown, and so NASCAR is they have the Daytona, but they're having a race in Los Angeles in the Coliseum,
Oh, cool.
and which is going to be pretty cool. They did it last year
In the
and
Coliseum? Oh,
in
you mean the actual stadium, not the
yeah, no,
not the
not
forum, right?
no, yeah, the one in Pasadena there. They put a whole track and everything, and I mean it's not a big track, but they do it and they get around it, and so they were there with the setup and to promote that race. You know, that's the whole bit. Is they were really using that time to because hey, why not? You have the corner on the 18 to 49 market, you know, at that time period
Sure.
on Friday night, and this fits in that demographic. So let's show how fun NASCAR is by putting Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio in a race with the New Day and the Judgment Day, and you know that's how they make it work. Again, production wise, excellent. Enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I liked the little segment on it there, but you know that's me. I mean, I like
I
NASCAR.
liked it
That's it.
too. It was good. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not a fan of NASCAR, but I actually didn't mind this segment.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, no, I
Because
agree.
you know what it is. You know
Of
what it
course.
is. You know,
Yeah.
it's a promo NASCAR being on Fox. So yeah. So this match was a match. This match also had a commercial break in it for some reason. Why it lasted as long as it did, I don't know. But but Charlotte Flair wins with the figure eight. Um, I don't know. It's whatever. Like nothing in this match stood out to me.
No, we've seen this a million times already, man. So yeah, who cares? And
Yeah,
we know that Charlotte wasn't going to lose.
right,
So
right.
let's be honest. I mean,
Yeah,
right, we're going to get Sonya Deville versus
Rhea
Rhea
Ripley
Ripley at Mania? I
in
don't think so.
in Los Angeles, and that's
Hell no.
trust me, the demo is all 49.
If you're talking about NASCAR, he's actually right, probably.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
where's Medusa? Shouldn't she be driving a NASCAR?
Well, no, she drove monster trucks.
Monster trucks. I think she's done a couple of NASCAR races too. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong about that. You're right about the
Yeah,
monster trucks, though.
she did monster trucks. She didn't do NASCAR. So,
Canada
yeah,
Spaceman's funny. Hardened prisoners like Dominic, like
yeah,
Condom
yeah.
Spaceman.
So, oh, sorry. We did miss the segment where we talked about Solo Sikoa, Jimmy, and Paul Heyman and Roman were backstage upset, and Roman asked Jimmy where Jay is, and he says he doesn't know. He hadn't heard from him. Reigns says he finds that disrespectful. Not only did he walk out, but he's not communicating. They have a title match next week. You don't walk out of your obligations, and et cetera, et cetera. Oh, Jimmy says Jay isn't talking to anyone. Roman asks Heyman if it's WrestleMania season. Heyman confirms it. Reigns demands Jimmy and Solo find Jay now. They walk up and they get up and walk out. So this was kind of just set up later. Brawling Brutes versus the Viking Raiders, which this had no tournament aspects. This was just
Valhalla, holla, holla. That's what I say.
yeah, yeah. I do like Sarah Logan as Valhalla.
Ugh.
I think it's a better like at least because here's the thing. I understand that her and Eric Rowe live that Viking lifestyle. So this is just their Viking lifestyle cranked to 11. It gives her more personality than she when she was just Sarah Rowe and just
Does
some
she really have more personality, though, John? Think about
but
it.
it's visually more entertaining than when she was Sarah Rowe, where she just looked like some grungy chick who didn't wear shoes and showed up.
But she was still kind of very Viking-ish, though, if you know what I mean.
Nah, she looked more like a hardcore hippie that
Eh.
ate meat. But like, either way, I think it fits because hey, this is their lifestyle, and Hanson's like it's this is closer to their War Machine get up and their
War Machine were killers, bro.
I agree, but they're not allowed to be War Machine in WWE. So they're like, what's the closest we can get? And this is, and they're starting to be that again. And we see that with this match because, again, this is all big, beefy boys beating the shit out of each other. And I like this. This is my favorite thing is when big, beefy boys go after each other. And,
Well,
personally, I liked it because that is my enjoyment. And,
fair enough.
you
And you're
know,
entitled to enjoy it. See, my problem is I was a fan of War Machine pre WWE,
me too.
but all the start, stopping, resetting of these guys has totally killed any momentum that they could have had right now. I mean, who takes these guys serious right now? Really? I mean, they
Right.
don't really get any sort of reaction, dude. I just feel like they killed them. They've totally killed them. And I mean, they're almost to the point of what Dolph Ziggler is right now in WWE.
Right. I would agree with that. I mean, in a way, but I feel like this iteration of them being badasses has more staying power than any of the other ones did.
Is
You
it too
know,
little too late, though, John?
uh, honestly, not for me because I this is what I've wanted for them this entire time that they've been in WWE. I
Right.
wanted them to be that War Machine badass guys that they were. And so now we're starting to see it, and I'm okay with it because it's not like they came out of the gate like this, and then they were kind of trying they did all kinds of goofy shit with them, and now they are where they need to be and back to what they're comfortable with doing. Um,
Hmm.
and so that's why I'm like, okay, good. We're finally at the place where they needed to be to begin with. So I'm okay with that for me, but that's just me. That's my opinion because this is what I wanted to see when I read they were going to WWE. I was like, oh hell yeah, that's going to be cool because they're going to start beating the shit out of everybody. And you had them in NXT for a bit. And I'm like, okay, and then you brought them up, and they looked kind of whatever, but then it was like they started doing that shit with the Street Profits, and then real goofy, and I'm like, what the hell was that? And I don't know. So I'm glad for it. I'm glad that they're finally getting to be that badass team that they were. I love the Viking horn and the start of
That's
their
cool.
music. You
Right.
really like they're to me they are finally becoming the thing that they needed to be, and I'm good with it. That's just me. Other people
Well,
might have written them off, but how can you write off two big beefy boys who beat the shit out of people and you have an incredible match? I thought it was a good match between them and Brawling Brutes because it's beefy
well,
boys
yeah.
hitting each other.
Other than Ricochet, but how can you take him serious now? It's WWE, like I said, have totally killed any sort of momentum up until this point. But like Canada Spaceman says in the chat, the Viking Raiders are no longer vicious; they are berserkers. Huss, huss, huss. Remember the berserker? I mean, he's
Mm-hmm.
not wrong. I mean, they come across like berserkers, and berserker was nothing but a glorified jobber at this point. Look, the writing's still on the wall for me, John, right now, man. I need to see what they're going to do long term when it comes to the Viking Raiders,
I can understand that.
and then I'll make my mind up. But right now, the start and stopping all the friggin' time, man.
Mhm.
It is what it is. But we'll see.
Right, but I also find it interesting that they're paired. They did the Brawling Brutes, and then McIntyre and Sheamus, and so they've got them. So hey, you got all kinds of big beefy boys right here, and I'm for it. That they're gonna. I mean, this is not just like whatever they're throwing him into. I mean, Sheamus and McIntyre are big deals, and the Brawling Brutes are a good tag team. You've got some things here that can be really, really good, and so I'm not at the point right now where I'm like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm interested to see where they go because it's not like they brought them back and they're just kind of running around doing stupid shit or they're jobbing out to everybody. They've made it make sense in the long term and that they are doing that. So, what do you think about the Bray Wyatt bit where they watched the highlights from that, and then we have him in a rocking chair watching the highlights, and Uncle Howdy goes, "What do you think about that?"
I mean, I was kind of indifferent to this. It was all right. It is what it is. But where are we going next?
Yeah, that's the real question. And then it's going to take another 3 months to figure out. I mean, is that what we're doing? You know,
Possibly.
I mean, ugh, for fuck's sake.
That's the problem.
This is the one thing. It's like it. This is where them doing long term storytelling doesn't work. They either hot shot something too fast, or they don't know how to tell long term storytelling enough. Like I think my biggest problem, like one thing that New Japan will do, they'll plant seeds or something, and then they won't come back to it. They'll let it simmer and sit. Whereas with this, Bray Wyatt, when he came back, Jesus Christ, how many times did we see him again and again and again and again? And he keep coming out and be like, I'm struggling with things. How we heard for 4 weeks straight that he was struggling, and whatever. And then we started getting glimpses of Uncle Howdy, and that took another 4 weeks. And then LA Knight and slapping him in the face, and that took another 4 weeks to where we got to the pitch black match. I mean, It's like don't just long-term storytelling doesn't mean you have to have that person on all the time and do very little to nothing with. Sometimes that means you put the guy in the corner, you let it simmer and marinate. We don't see him for a little bit. How special would it have been to see Bray Wyatt come back and then we don't hear from him for a week or two, right? And then
I know they've totally overexposed him right now. It's true, man.
And that's the problem. They either, with their long-term storytelling, overexpose the people they're doing the long storytelling with, or they cut things too short and don't know how to do it. So, again, this is why we don't do that. Do you anything on the Elimination Chamber qualifying 4-way match with Shotzi, Zelina, Shayna Baszler, and Natalya? Do you want anything you want to talk about
that? Why did Natalya win?
I don't know. Because she's got her new reconstructed nose and probably new boobs, and they want to show that off for Elimination Chamber. So
honestly, she looks like Miss Piggy. Whoops, did I just say that? I mean, come on, let's be honest. I'm not trying to be like, I'm not saying she's fat or nothing. She actually looks like Miss Piggy. I mean, if you put them side to side, think about it. I mean, look, seriously.
Let me put it this way. I'd fuck her.
I'm not saying you wouldn't. I'm not saying I wouldn't either. But I don't know, man. She comes out like she's a piece of meat. That's what I see. That's what. I don't know, maybe because Canada, the opinion, the vet saying that, I mean, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. And media said, it's safe to say Natty isn't Natty.
No.
She just isn't.
Yeah, but, I think the vet is right. Elimination Chamber is in Montreal.
I know, I was being sarcastic, by the way, vet. No shit. Obviously, it is because of Canada. 100%.
Yeah,
that's why she's in it.
Really, what it is. But she came back in the Rumble. She had been out for a long time. Obviously, she has whatever. And I will agree. Medium 5. She does have like it feels like she goes under the knife a lot. For
a
lot, and
to the point where she's changed, man. She doesn't even look the same.
Mm-mm. No, but
I'm not saying she's ugly. She's not, but I mean, she's had tit jobs, face jobs, you name it.
Yeah.
She's had everything.
Agree, and so I just, it would show us Charlotte. I mean, shit. Charlotte has changed so much too, between the boobs, the face jobs, and
Charlotte was so much better looking before going under the knife, man.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell's wrong with these women, man?
I don't know. Hey,
they don't need to be doing this,
And Charlotte suffers from no acetol disease,
Flat back, dude, straight up. Surfboard. You said it.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it's true. I'm surprised Andrade is down with that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. But I don't know. But I think this placates to the Canadian crowd. It gives them someone to cheer for, because the other entrants that they have listed right now, who I guess didn't have to qualify, Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, Asuka, and Nikki Cross, those all got in. I guess because they were in the Rumble towards the end.
I can't stand Raquel Rodriguez, dude. Straight up.
She's whatever to me.
She's got to stop doing this crap, dude. We get it. You're big. But
Yeah.
maybe because she's with Braun Strowman. And thank you, Media M5. He says he agrees with me about Natty, I assume. Hopefully it is what it is. But yeah, Raquel Rodriguez, I don't know if it's because she's with Braun. And I think Braun is just one big dopey guy, like kind of thing. Even though he's a great guy, but get off social media, my man, please.
Yeah. Well, and
'Cause,
she doesn't. So she has TikToks and stuff where she's in the gym and she'll be like, like doing things to embarrass him in the gym and be like, oh, look at you, like, and like sexualizing Braun and stuff like that. So she's goofy and awkward too.
She is. They're perfect. They're made for each other, dude.
They
For
really
real.
are, which is
really
fine. And you can't help but wonder if she didn't help get him his job back.
Maybe. There's a high chance.
Because let's be honest, in NXT she killed it. I think right now with her, the problem is she's doing the I'm strong bit, but we haven't really seen a ton of that. We're seeing.
Tell me what's so strong about Raquel Rodriguez, dude.
Yeah. Well, every now and then she picks up somebody with one arm and slams them down. So like Liv Morgan and stuff. But I think for me, it's one of those things where like she's been solid but not impressive. Nothing to where like Braun Strowman level where she's not quite the gimmick of being that strong person. So then it's like, stop telling me you're strong but you're not showing me you're strong.
Right.
Like, kind of bit.
True.
Yeah, that's really what it is. So, but those four, I guess, because they were the last four other than, I can't even remember who won the Rumble at this point.
It
Rhea.
was Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I think those are the other four, but who besides Rhea, and then apparently the final elimination will be decided on Monday Night Raw. It's Candice LeRae, Mishin. Oh God, I hate that name. Mia Yim. I'm not calling Yim, right. Mia Yim, Carmella. Where the hell is she been?
Back.
And Piper Niven.
She had a miscarriage. That's where she's been, actually, John.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, really. Her and Corey Graves. They were trying to get it. They were trying to get pregnant, and unfortunately for them, she miscarried, and that's why she wasn't on television.
Well, I can understand that. I'm sorry. That's never a good thing when you deal with that. So,
no doubt.
Thoughts and all that to Corey and Carmella for that. But, it's that was the show. So next week, so this coming Friday, we've got the undisputed tag team championship of the Usos versus. Oh no! Apparently that was the final because it's the Usos versus Braun and Ricochet. No, they're not. Surely on next week's SmackDown, they are not giving Braun and Ricochet the titles from the Usos, right? Surely not.
No,
surely not. They can't.
Chance, dude.
There's no way, right? There's no way.
Unless, but to be fair, maybe there will be a change for one reason because clearly Jay and Jimmy apparently aren't getting along, right?
Yeah, in general. So I don't know, but no, they're not. They can't. They can't, right? They can't.
It'd be a bad move.
They can't. Oh, fuck.
If Roman and damn Ricochet win the Undisputed Tag Team Championships, I'm done. Yeah, I'm joking. I'm joking. But seriously, that's bad. That's a bad move. I hope that doesn't happen.
But they're, like you said, they're hot right now. Jimmy and Jay are, quote unquote, broken up, according to Roman. And,
it would make sense for them to lose it, though, in terms of the storyline with Roman Reigns, right? Wouldn't it?
I guess, because his bloodline is crumbling. So now they're not. Oh, Jay doesn't show up, and so it's just Jimmy by himself.
I can see that.
Or Solo has to step in, or Roman has to step in to defend the title.
If Roman steps in, they're retaining the belts, 100%.
Or Solo has to step in, and but still, no, they can't. Jimmy!
I think they're really booking themselves in a corner, man. If they go with Ricochet and friggin' Braun, it's a bad move, man.
Yeah, I know.
I get it. The fans love these guys, but please don't do it. Don't pull the trigger, man.
Whatever you do, WWE, don't do it. Don't do it.
And I've
And
got a
then
bad feeling now, John. I've got a bad feeling,
right,
man.
right. That's why I was like, All right. So and then next week we have also next week a fatal four way number one contenders match for the Intercontinental Championship. The winner will face
I
Gunther
forgot all about
Walter.
that belt.
Did you really? I didn't.
Yeah, I mean, have they really been doing anything with the Intercontinental Championship?
So. But then again, you have to remember. Hey, look at what Walter did in the Rumble. You know.
Hey, man, he killed it, man. For
Mm,
real, they made him look like $1,000,000. No doubt
yeah.
about it.
You know, so you have Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar versus Karrion Kross versus Madcap Moss. One of these is not
Whoa.
like the other.
Oh.
We know no matter what, Madcap Moss is eating the pin from somebody.
It could be
Uh,
even carrying cross eating a pin at this point.
no,
Oh,
no,
you never know.
no. I would love to see Karrion Kross versus Walter. I want to see that.
So would I, but the problem is, let's build carrying cross into something that's a killer. No pun intended.
Yeah. But I mean, at the same time, though, like I think that could happen, right? Because it
It
says
could.
they, because it says it's they face Gunther for the WWE Intercontinental doesn't mean they're going to face him the next week. So you could build that up and continue to do the mind games like he did with Rey Mysterio, like he did with Oda. Oh, by the way, people kept saying Dominic. Maybe Karrion Kross took out Rey Mysterio at Rumble.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because me and Lippman on my shows at the PWC network were talking if Karrion Kross should join Judgment Day. I mean, it makes kind of sense.
If he
They're
does,
all-
he would have to replace Finn as the leader. I really feel
I
like
don't see him being the leader though. I can see him being in the background, kind of like their bodyguard per se, their solo.
no, he's such a good talker. I don't see him being the leader.
He's a great talker,
I
but
think he would
man,
have to be the leader.
well, not the way he's built right now.
Well, I think that's how you build him. Like you have him kick Finn out, and he becomes the leader, and he
You
builds
can't
that
just
from
do
there.
that without building him into a believable guy that can absolutely annihilate anybody. Because let's be honest, John, I'm a fan of Killer Cross, but his second run has kind of sucked balls, man.
I think honestly, because Jimmy, again, this is one of those ones where, again, the storytelling isn't consistent. With
That's
him.
true too.
Let's be honest. You tried to do some long term storytelling and such, but it just hasn't hit right. He
It
and
definitely
I
hasn't.
and I think part of that issue um, comes from the fact that like you want to do long term storytelling, but like you don't give us enough. Like with him, it's almost they give us too little. Where you know he's underexposed essentially. We had the Rey Mysterio bit, and then he was who was he going after before
Drew
Ray
McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre, right? And there was that whole bit, which oh yeah, because they had the strap match before the strap match. Um, you know, they did that, which Drew is the golden goose, so you knew eventually he wasn't going to go over him. But at the same time, I don't feel like that feud did him a lot of favors.
It didn't, man. Bad, bad, bad move by
Yeah,
WB by putting Cross in that matchup with Drew. Thank
yeah,
you, Media M5. Since he agrees with me.
yeah. But I feel like a Killer Cross, Carrying Cross, however you're gonna call it. I feel like he could be one of these guys that goes in with Walter and just. I feel like this could be a good match, and I feel like the build up could be good. I really do because we've seen glimpses of things that make me feel like he could do it, and that it could be a good story to tell. They just need to be consistent with this storytelling.
You know what also the problem is? Who is Karrion Cross in WWE? What is he? Who is he?
Yeah.
They haven't explained none of that.
No.
The fans don't react to him at all. Let's be real. They don't.
Right, because we don't know the story. We know that him and Scarlett are married,
Right.
and like she's his harbinger of doom, I guess,
Is it cheesy to you, John, by her doing, fall and pray? Like, I just find it so tacky on the main roster, man. It worked in NXT. I just don't think it works on the main roster.
Honestly, Jimmy, because I saw very little of the NXT presentation.
He was a killer in NXT, no pun intended.
I had heard that. But I hadn't seen the whole Fall and Pray with her and all that kind of stuff. But I know she sings it. I know that's like her voice with it. But the question really, I think, for me goes like it's different. Why did Shinsuke's opening work? You had the live violinist who could play that, who could come out and be very charismatic. I think with with Scarlett and their entrance, I think it's different enough to where it is one of those things where it can be menacing. It can be something that makes you go, "Oh, okay." But we have to see more. I think more him being, for lack of a better phrase, killer. We need some more of what. Like the one thing I will have to say with the whole Drew feud, like he did get some licks in. He did play mind games. He did jump him from behind. He did do some of those things, which I think we need more of. We haven't seen it since the Drew thing. Very rarely have we seen it. Yeah, so he beat up Madcap Moss. Who doesn't beat up Madcap Moss at this point? I'm sure Emma beats up Madcap Moss in the bedroom.
God. Speaking of Emma, another failure since she's back. I mean, she's totally just meh.
Yeah, dead. But I think which why she came back, I don't know. She wasn't really wrestling to begin with. Um,
I mean, maybe we need to get that again. I mean,
yeah,
jeez. At this
but
point, why not?
but I think there's enough there with Cross to do something interesting with Walter.
What the vet said is 100% correct there, John. I have to say I agree. Cross is too green to pull his character off between the ropes. Sorry. I agree with him. There's something off with Cross, man. And this is why I said I feel like he's been exposed in WWE for... Look, I used to think this guy was legitimately the next big thing. Welcome back, Liz. I really did. I used to think it was the next big thing while he was in Impact Wrestling. But man, his second run right now is just total failure to me. And then, again, explain who this guy is. I don't understand. And Scarlett's becoming too goofy for my liking right now with the Fallen Prey stuff. I just think we need some sort of background with Cross and Scarlett right now for anybody to take him seriously. Because I don't even know what they are. What are they? Is he a hitman? Is he a mercenary? Is he I don't know what the hell he is. Is he dark? What is he?
I don't know, and that's the real question. But I think, the sad part is that we've seen that he could do that. Now, let me ask you this question, and then this might sound completely dumb and superficial, but do you feel like him having hair has softened his character?
Yeah, it has. It actually has. It has. He's very cartoony too for my liking right now. But yeah, the hair has totally ruined him. He needs to shave that damn hair off.
Yeah, like to me, he was more menacing when he didn't have hair.
100%.
He felt like a killer. He felt vicious. Like he doesn't feel that. And I know that sounds superficial, but presentation is important. And
Absolutely is.
Having the goatee like he had and the shaved head, and it felt more menacing, and just his facials. Like I feel like now with his facials and everything, it's softer because the hair makes it feel that way,
It is what it is, man. It's true. I mean, maybe it's WWE that told him to grow out his hair but I don't know. He needs to get rid of it. If it wasn't WWE and if it was actually Killer Cross that grew out his hair, dude, shave it off. But well, the vet's also right about that too. Too many bald white guys in wrestling. He does have a point.
And I mean, I get it. He's trying to do something different, but what is? I mean, at least we're not getting the goofy gladiator outfits and stuff like that. And I think that was part of the problem is he had that NXT character nailed down, right, and knew what he was doing, but then he came up to the main roster and they gave him that goofy gladiator gimmick and whatever that was supposed to be, and then we're trying to go back to what he was in NXT, but it's not hitting
Which
the
it
same.
really isn't. No,
But
it's
it's
not even
not.
that. Yeah, it's
It's
weird.
not. You know.
Look, you know what's funny? If Demolition was a tag team right now, right? You know how we had three members at one stage? It was Axe, Smash, and Crush. Well,
Right.
it'd be Axe, Smash, Crush, and Cross. I can picture it. I mean, he
Hmm.
would be part of Demolition if Demolition was around today.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can see that. But I think honestly, this is one of those ones again. I think I saw this week that it said WWE had 250 wrestlers under contract,
Wow.
right? Which is what they had during the pandemic before they made all those cuts, you know. And then the question becomes, do we have too many wrestlers in WWE to tell significant stories?
Do they really have depth like they think they do in
Right.
WWE actually, John? That's the key question.
Hmm.
I don't think
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah. No, I don't either. And I think that's the real question is, like if you look at SmackDown's roster, right? You've put Sheamus and Drew together in a tag team, and yeah,
Banger after banger
right.
after banger. Right.
So you put them together. So you killed two singles guys by putting them in a tag team. Um, you have the Brawling Brutes who were with Sheamus, who are a tag team. You have New Day, who's a tag team. You have Viking Raiders tag team. You put Braun and Ricochet together as a tag team, so that kills two more singles. Um, like honestly, right now, other than Roman on SmackDown, you have Cross, you have Walter, I guess you have Ray. You know, um, you know, Santos Escobar, but I feel like they fumbled him. You know,
He's too small, John. That's the problem. I'm a fan of Santos Escobar, but when it comes to the main roster, man, he's too small.
I don't know if that's what I really like him, but I don't. For me, it's not about the size per se,
Right.
because I feel like he's a better on whatever his name was, Andre Idolo or whatever he's going by now, uh,
Andrade.
Andrade. I feel like he's what Andrade could have been, right? But he speaks English, so there's a difference, because he can connect with crowds.
Right.
But I think they've just not done a great, because they came in with, hey, look at this, we have Love Legado de Fantasma, look how we are, we're going to run this place, and then they disappeared. you know they didn't give, they gave that Scarface vibe, and they made him do that, and they did the whole thing with um Hit Row, and then other than making jokes about how Top Dollar wouldn't make it over the rope, you know, we don't see Hit Row much anymore.
Oh, I wonder why. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, and I
seriously.
agree with Elizabeth on this. Having Zelina, that fucking killed them. Right.
100% agree with Liz. I've said that too,
Yeah.
man. Do they need Zelina Vega in
No.
Legado del Fantasma when they don't need a mouthpiece, man? They've already got Santos Escobar who
Right.
can actually talk. But yeah,
You know,
that's WWE.
yep. And I mean, that's the bit, unfortunately. You know, um, we got a 2 hour show. We probably got 45 minutes of wrestling, and then the rest of it was recaps and bits like that. So because that to me says you don't have a deep enough roster to maintain what's going on.
Oh, I'm back. I don't know what
Oh,
happened there.
there you go.
Jesus Christ.
But I was saying, like Vet mentioned, this episode had 250 recaps.
100% true.
Yeah, and to me, that again, and this is why I asked this question, because it shows that they don't have a depth of roster. That in a 2 hour show, right? 2 hour show.
Right.
There was probably maybe 45 minutes of wrestling, and then the rest was just recaps and everything along those lines.
Yeah, I
Because
mean, Raw was the same also. All recaps and promos, man.
right, so let's see. You had the Braun Strowman match. There's one. Charlotte Flair match. There's two. Brawling Brutes Viking Raiders.
Three,
Elimination Chamber qualifying match.
four.
and
I
that's
think
it.
that's it. Right, that's it.
So, if you want to talk about it, you want to talk about it. That is 2 matches an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I
And,
don't like what's happening with Raw and SmackDown these days in terms of matches and whatnot. They need to build more storylines, less commercials, man. And when I say less commercials, we don't need your actual commercials and then get WWE commercials. Basically, it is what it is. But yeah, this is why it kind of sucked this week with SmackDown. Um, but we did move on. Well, yeah, they have plenty of talent depth, just no creative depth.
mm-hmm.
They've got too many female wrestlers too. I feel, especially in NXT, man. I think it's overflowing to the point where I feel like NXT is becoming a women's show more so than a male show, even.
Mm-hmm.
Well, from what I've noticed, anyway.
I mean, again, that would mean I'd have to watch NXT because
If you check it out, you'll know what I'm talking about, man.
I
And it's
again
bad acting over there, bro. Bad acting.
it's I catch the top 10 of you know of whatever they have. I just I don't see anything. Oh, pardon me.
That
Other
true,
than
Elizabeth. 100% true. They can't wrestle for shit, man. It's true.
yeah, no,
Just quietly.
yeah, but I think at the end of the day, for me, like I at the end of the day, Jimmy, how do you rate this SmackDown? Do you feel like it was good? It was whatever,
It
middle
was
of the
okay.
road.
It was okay. Yeah, more so middle of the road. I
Yeah.
mean, I've seen much better in recent times when it comes to SmackDown. But it just felt like that lull period after Royal Rumble where, after the highs from the Royal Rumble, we're back to the lows of Raw and SmackDown. We'll pick up again once we're, sort of getting closer to WrestleMania, no doubt.
hmm And I mean, I feel the same way. Like, uh, yes, yes. Go watch the New Beginning in Sapporo show only on New Japan World.
Well,
Yes.
Vet, are we reviewing the show, man? Because we got awesome numbers for Wrestle Kingdom. And John, if we do it, come right on in and join us, man. I mean, shit. We need more New Japan guys for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to watch some real wrestling and some good stuff, go watch New Japan. But this is a Smack Attack show on Channel
Absolutely.
Attitude and Humming Media Group.
That's right.
I mean, hell, we could just turn this into a New Japan review show. We'll just bring that on and roll it all into one. But no, I have things to do today. So we've given them almost 2 hours of this show, which is the length of the show. But again, we have of NXT Vengeance. Is that today?
Yes, that's today, man. It sure is. Canada Spaceman seems very excited because he's been doing the countdown. Are you pumped to watch Vengeance Day tonight, actually, Canada Spaceman?
Who knows? I'm not.
Unfortunately, I'm reviewing it tonight also, so good luck to me.
Good luck to you. So I think this is a good spot to end the show right now. So Jimmy, you mentioned reviewing the show. Tell all the people where they can hear your lovely non-Australian voice, apparently, as we established earlier.
Well, I'm very much Australian, when everybody else around the world's listening to me. Jeez, I mean, but you'll get it's like, New York accent, or Southern accent. You know what I mean, dude?
Yeah.
Even though it's hard for you to tell, but yeah, you'll notice little bits. But anyway, if you want to see or hear my review with others, I think I'm doing it with Jeff Lippman. You can at the pwcnetwork.podbean.com where you can find that. It could possibly also be on channelattitude.com, so we'll see.
Okay.
I got to speak to Ben about that. Usually he says yes. So more than likely it will be, yeah, I know, poor me. I know, it's true. I can't stand NXT right now, media. I'm just saying. But yeah, but Jeff is kind of, pushing me towards reviewing it, so why not, all right? I mean, shit. More wrestling.
Well, I think hey, that's the life you chose to live. That's
It's
you have
hard, man. It's hard.
you have no excuses. Me, I'm choosing to only focus on this in Star Trek.
You're
So
one lucky dude, man.
yeah. Which I never asked you, Jimmy. Star Wars, Star Trek, anything like that? Any outside of wrestling? What's your go to for watching stuff? Are you a sci-fi guy? Are you a drama guy? What do you like to watch?
You know what's funny, man? I was never been into like Star Trek and Star Wars, really. To be honest, don't shoot me. I'm just saying,
I
I'm
don't
just being
care.
honest. But dude, I'm a sports guy more so than anything.
Hmm.
So if I'm not watching wrestling, I mean, lately I haven't been watching much TV, man, other than the wrestling because just watching all that wrestling just gasses me out in general, man. I've been playing video games, believe it or not, man.
Really?
So yeah. So if you want to add me on Xbox Live, you can at Priceless Gym.
So
Yes,
do you
don't
have a
ask me why with that
Twitch?
name. Not for video games. No, I've never done that. But we have a Twitch for the PWC network. But yeah, I should probably
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah, like the vet does. You should
True.
you should do that, and we could see Aussie gaming. And if it's not real because y'all aren't real. Um, you live in the
I'm an
upside
AI,
down.
dude. I'm
Yeah,
in the Xbox, literally.
you're in the Xbox. There you go.
I
Just like you're in the computer. So,
am. I am.
uh,
You
you
can't
know,
see me, literally. This is AI.
yeah. The chat, what they call it, chat GPT or something like that. That's what you are now.
I don't know, man. Apparently, I'm an AI. So
Yeah.
the fact that people truly think Australia doesn't exist blows my mind, dude.
Yeah. It's
It's
hilarious.
weird, man. But it's for whatever reason, it's caught steam, dude.
It's funny. It cracks me up. Like, no, don't get me wrong. Like, Australia is on my bucket list of travel things that I want to go
Oh
to.
man, if you
Yeah.
come down here, I've got you, bro.
All right. So
100%.
it's on my Japan, Australia. I think like I want to do Fiji. I want to do Hong
Fiji's nice.
Kong. I want to do.
So basically the Pacific.
Well, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot. I want to do like Switzerland and like the Alps area up in that
That'll be
part.
nice, dude, for sure.
The Mediterranean. I think the Mediterranean would be fun.
That's a must,
Uh,
bro. Take it from me for
Israel.
sure.
I want to go
Yeah,
to
for sure.
Israel. I've got a lot of places that I want to go to, and as I get older and maybe a little bit closer to retirement, I think that probably most likely I will be doing more traveling and going. I'll spend a couple weeks here, a couple weeks here. So, but like my big one is Japan, and I may do that. I'm think maybe this January to go to Wrestle Kingdom with my
I'll
son.
join you, dude. If you're 100% gonna do that next coming January, I'll book it also, man.
I'm
100.
still looking at that. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to see what it will cost me and everything. I'm trying to see if there's travel packages or something for it. But if not this year, maybe next January 4th after he's graduated. So that's where I'm kind of like, do I want to do it before he graduates this, or do I want to wait till after he graduates in May of next year and then go that January 4th? I think either way, he's excited and he would go no matter what.
Bring him
Um,
along, man.
oh no, that's the whole bit. So like,
Right, right.
I don't know if y'all do this in Australia, but like one of the traditions we have in the States is when you graduate your senior year of high school, is you have what's called a senior trip, where
Right, yeah, yeah.
you
We do,
go
yeah.
whatever. And so I've talked to him about it. I was like, hey, would you want to do a senior trip where you and I go to Japan and we go watch Wrestle Kingdom? He goes, yeah. So,
Awesome.
so he's down. For me, it's just a matter of logistics of like, do I want to like have him go before he graduates? Not that I don't think he'll graduate,
No, I
but
think it'll be better after he graduates because
right.
then it's kind of like a
Yeah,
like I don't want to say a present per se, but like
but that's
you
what it
know
is. That's what
a
it's intended to
reward.
be. And
Right,
that's what
right.
it's intended to be. So that's why I'm thinking maybe next January, not this one would be coming up, but the one after that, that would be the one. So that would be what, January 4th, 2025 or
Yeah,
2024?
I guess it would be. No,
Yeah,
2025.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah, 2025
Yeah.
because it's the start, start of that new year. So I think that's going to be the first big, trip that I'll probably take. That's a bucket list trip that I'll mark off because we'll be there. Well, I will go for a whole week probably, and like a 10-day trip where you travel for a day, then you spend a week there, and then travel for a day to get back. So, um,
Well, it'll
you
be
know,
a long trip for you, but it only takes like under 7 hours to get from here to Japan. So for
yeah,
me, so that's great. It could be even
I'm
quicker.
yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want because they have nonstops that you go from Dallas to Tokyo. So I'm trying to decide if I want to go that route and look at what that costs versus like making a stop somewhere where I think you can either make a stop in Los Angeles or Hawaii and do something like that.
You might as well do the stop in Hawaii, man. I mean, it's right in this middle.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It,
thinking.
it,
I'm trying to see if I could work that. I mean, it's not like I'm doing it because I need to go to Hawaii. I've been to Hawaii twice,
I'll have you
so
go. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah. So it's like cool. Um, and I'm not one to want to leave the airport if I'm going to be doing a layover somewhere
Right,
because
right.
I'm just that kind of like I'm here, I'm in security, everything's checked. I don't want to have to roll and do it all again and try to fight
Yeah,
everything to come
fuck
back.
that.
I'll chill in the airport for 6 hours or whatever. Not a problem. I'll go find a place to camp out and take a nap and sleep on the plane some more or whatever. So anyway, all right, so that's we got all that. I guess I need to tell people where to find me. You can find me on the internet at jreezymin. You can hit me up on all those places. You can also email me, john at freedomhousepc.org, for any kind of mental health or advocacy questions. And now that February has started, February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. Now that I can be back to work, I can start posting things about that and keeping up with that. So make sure if you have any questions about Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, let me know. If you want to support teens in having a healthy relationship, last year in the United States alone, 1.5 million teens experienced some sort of physical abuse in a dating relationship or emotional or mental abuse. So if you want to help say that kids deserve a healthy relationship, this Tuesday, February 7th, wear orange, take a picture of it, and post it on your social medias, whether it's a hat, an outfit, whatever. If you got the Dumb and Dumber outfit where you have the all orange tux with the top hat and everything with the cape, wear that, cool. If it's just a ribbon or something small, whatever, wear orange, post it to your social media, use the hashtags orange for love and love is respect, and be about it. Those are the hashtags for it. And you can show that you support kids having a healthy dating relationship. Also, make sure you check out the Hamin Media Group YouTube pages, internets, all that fun stuff. And also check out Channel Attitude for not just this show, but for all the things Hamin Media related, everything that's on there. You want to hear Stevie and Ben chop it up? Go listen to them. You want to hear Vince Russo say stuff? Go do that. I mean, there's so much on Channel Attitude alone, and it's like super cheap. I think it's like less than half of what it would be to just subscribe to New Japan World. So
$5, as a
yeah,
matter of fact.
yeah. So it's about half of what it would be to subscribe to New Japan World. So go do that, and then you have all this content that you can listen to, everything backlogged, everything from the beginning, and all the different shows, and find out what's going on. And then on top of all that, you'll just have a grand old time, and you'll be supporting what we do because you love us, and you do. So you know what? Go do that. Go subscribe to Channel Attitude. Find out all the cool things that are going on with all the cool kids. Don't be a slacker and just listen because you want to cheap out and watch on YouTube. Go be a good person and listen to channelattitude.com. Pay for
Absolutely, it's only $5.
It's only
what are you waiting
$5.
for?
I don't know. Run and go do that right now. But everyone in the chat, thank you for coming. We appreciate it. You guys make the show as always. We appreciate it. For that one person who's left in the chat. Cool. Great. But everybody else, thank you for being here tonight in the chats. You guys are great. As always, you made this show wonderful. This is why the Smack It Shack is the show for the people, by the people. So with that said, we have to look forward to sign pointing season. Yay! It's that time of year.
WrestleMania. I'm pointing at it right now.
Who else is going to be pointing at the signs this week? We know Roman Reigns is. We know Cody is. We know Rhea is. We know Charlotte is.
But it's Sami Zayn.
And will Sami Zayn? Who knows? We got to find out. We got to see what kind of storytelling we will be, which means next week we have to watch more SmackDown. So come back next week. See what all we talk about, how we're doing it, and what we're doing. Biscuits are not scones. Biscuits are buttery good of their own. And who knows what else? Maybe we'll learn a new Australian slang and American slang and Texas slang. Who knows? You'll never know what happens on next week's Smack Attack. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. And always,